Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the San Francisco Independent Short Film Festival. I'm Katie from Festival Formula, and today we'll be speaking to some of the filmmakers featured in the block Relationships 2. So just a very quick icebreaker question to all of our guests to answer. If you could see one movie again for the first time, what would that be? It's a tough one, I know.
If you can see the movie again?
Yeah, so if you could see any film for the first time again, what would it be?
Ah, ha detto se volete vedere un film per la prima volta di nuovo, potete chiedere.
Un film nuovo. Uno di quelli
Adesso. Ma now?
Sì, quello dell'altro.
Sì, abbiamo visto quello. Quindi...
quello lì, come si chiama? Amanda, mi sembra.
Okay. Amanda movie. The Amanda movie. Amanda.
Yeah.
Your movie, Amanda, please. Can you see your movie?
Yeah,
Che l'abbiamo l'abbiamo già visto.
L'avete già visto?
Sì.
We have seen the Amanda movie. Already. Yeah.
Okay. So anyone else want to jump in with what film they would love to see first again?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see American Honey by Andrea Arnold again.
I love that film.
Me too. Yeah, it had such an impact on me. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Nice. Weirdly about relationships, both of those so far. Yeah. Jason, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm only saying this because recently I was watching a scene from it, and I thought, God, I would love to go back and just see it all new because my friend had never seen it before. But High Fidelity is such a fun, awesome film, and I've seen it a million times, but when I was much younger, and I don't know, I feel like it would be fun to see it with fresh eyes.
Again, another one about relationships. Just to catch up to speed, Semi, we're asking the question, what would be the first film that you would love to be able to watch for the first time again?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a biggie, but...
Yeah. Has everybody gone already?
I think, Jason, did you say one?
That's a real hard one. There's so many that I would want to see again. I mean, just like on top of my mind, like Children of Men is something I want to see again, and Roma more recently, just seeing that in the theater and the response it got just with an audience was so cool. I'd love to experience that again, but like in that setting. So
yeah, that's true. I realize I've thrown you on the spot very quickly, Semi. We won't hold you to it. You know, this isn't going to be set in stone.
I do have one personal movie that I'd like to see again for the first time. It's Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, they're all fun films actually. They're again kind of all kind of quite about momentary stories actually, especially American Honey, and that kind of, you know, I love that world. I would have loved to have been in it for a lot longer, even though it's a very long film to begin with, but I just completely sailed through it. I loved it. So interestingly enough, all of you are in a block about relationships, and all of the films in this block are very multifaceted. They're all very different. They all kind of have a very kind of poignant look at relationships, whether that be you know, romantic or friendship or animalistic. So I'm going to go through each film and just kind of ask the creatives a few questions and just to talk about it. So I want to talk about Lodestar. So two lives completely shattered by addiction, and they clash whilst in rehab, and through their subsequent actions both are changed forevermore. I found this a really extremely powerful piece, which handles two protagonists exceptionally well. That moment of passing over the narrative torch is very subtle but extremely effective, and it's quite a fluid movement as well. I get the sense that this is a really personal piece, and I can only presume that you all of the team wanted to make sure that this narrative was as accurate as you could get, and not be one of those trite films which offers solutions and a, you know, easy kind of way out. Can you both tell us about the origins and process for Lodestar?
Yeah, so I wrote the film, I think in like October of last year. I did it while I was a student at a master's program here in New York. Yeah, and I didn't have a lot of time, honestly, to write the film, and I knew it had to be like my thesis project. And I got sober 5 years ago in San Francisco, actually, so it's cool to yeah, be on here with some San Francisco filmmakers. But yeah, it was an easy choice to like focus on my own story, even though it is highly fictionalized. But I didn't have to do any research; like I had lived that experience. And the relationship in the film is, I feel like a lot of things helped me get sober, but the relationship between me and this guy named John, who I met in a sober living in San Francisco, is maybe the one relationship that helped me get sober the most, and that's kind of what the film is about.
Great. And you can definitely tell that as well, because I mean, obviously it is dedicated to John, but just kind of, you know, having, it's almost, you know, having two people completely different, you know, from one end of the spectrum, young, old, you know, the different addictions that they have. And it's such a beautifully simplistic but extremely effective story. And it is momentary. It is just, you know, that one night that kind of changes them together. And I think that's, everyone's always saying like, what makes a good short film, and you know, what makes a film stand out, and it's those stories that you've been dropped in at the right point, that you've actually just, you know, you're not held there for too long and you don't outstay your welcome, but you actually kind of just go, yeah, that's what exactly needed from this story. So Ashley, how did you find this process? Kind of, you know, it's a very intense script. Is that something that, you know, was a great challenge, or is that something that you kind of...
Oh, well, I mean, I gravitate towards, I mean, stories that are like stuck in the real, right? And like the raw, like humanity of our lives. And I was really, when I met Max, I mean, immediately I knew I wanted to work on this film because he speaks with such conviction, and like it was his personal, you know, he had such a personal connection to the story. And I mean, we've all had our issues with addiction, myself included. And so I mean, it was a great honor to collaborate on this. And I mean, I'm just so proud of him. It's his first film. Go Max.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a great debut.
High five.
So happy to help him make it happen. And, you know, as a producer, I'm always looking to collaborate with new voices. And yeah, Max had a really powerful story to tell.
Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
I've done it without Ashley. I'm not even close. So she was such a
Oh,
huge...
it's complete loving. I love it.
Yeah, we love each other. It was a great it was a great collaboration. We had an amazing team. And like you were saying, like with the story, with the contents, like everyone was in it to help tell Max's script, you know, and so it was a pure labor of love, for sure.
Good, and it shows. And did you say how many days did you shoot for?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Wow, crikey.
Yeah.
Well, if you can shoot that in 3, imagine if somebody gave you 10.
Well, so we shot it in February too, which was right before obviously the pandemic hit. And we were filming in like a rehab facility and nursing home, and so it was just very interesting to imagine we were in that space and what it turned into a month later. But
Yeah. I found that the pandemic in all territories has either made filmmakers kind of go back to projects that they hadn't had time to finish, or actually start working on new ones, because it's that kind of, when you have that pressure of I've always got to do something, always got to create, actually having those restrictions can give birth to something quite new. And I know as a company, we were presuming the worst. We were like, filmmakers can't film, they can't shoot, they can't have the insurance purposes or anything else. But in actual fact, we had an influx of filmmakers that were like, yeah, I've had this film on my hard drive for like a year and I've never got around to finishing it. And, you know, or filmmakers going, can you read my script? I've just written something I've never written before. And we're like, this is great. You know, it's an interesting time, I will say that. So I want to talk about the film Lola. So Amanda and Jason, a story of love, relationships, and a bond that can never be replicated, delivered with a beautiful and sweet twist. I think as a story of loss, this completely unfurls its plot very sneakily. and the double meaning of all the dialogue coming crashing in at the end and completely just going, oh, it's humorous, but it's so extremely poignant. And just a small thing, but the whistle as well. I just love it's a lovely touch, and I think that's actually been a recurring theme through a lot of these films, is that, you know, how objects can retain memories about characters that we know, and how they take on a new meaning when that person has left or actually kind of passed it on. Did you always have the reveal at that point in the story, or was that kind of morphed as we've gone through?
Yeah, no, I definitely had the reveal always at the end. I always wanted it to feel like a love story throughout, and then sort of pull the rug out from under. And it certainly is about loss. I wrote the script at a time when I was going through a breakup, and I have cats. I have two, not a hoarder. And they are a constant, you know, they're such a constant source of support no matter what you're going through. Like with the elections coming up, I think that was something that I wanted to pay homage to in a way. And I don't know, I guess express that loss happens in all forms, and it's to be sort of recognized. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's definitely a harsh point of grief, I would say, when you have kind of a loss of a pet. And I know that we looked after a film which was a documentary about how a vet had created up a support group for people who are actually grieving for their pets, because a lot of these people, you know, it was their guide dog or it was their support animal, and actually kind of that connection is irreplaceable. So yeah, I definitely found it, like, you know, again, like humorous, but just kind of, you know, really like heartfelt as well. Jason, how did you approach this from a DOP perspective? Like, did you have to kind of, did you not want to make it too obvious? Did you want to kind of try it? Because the way that you shot it is actually kind of quite observational, which I think, like, when I look back at it, it's like, oh, actually that makes sense, because a cat just watches you.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, going back to the reveal, that was something that I first discovered in reading it when Amanda first sent it to me. So it was always there from the beginning. And I remember Amanda, the first thing, she's like, this is gonna be in black and white. So that was like, I was on board right from there. And then, yeah, like the observational parts of it. Yeah, we talked about like certain angles, like maybe the cat would catch it through the window here in this perspective and things like that. So that was sort of very much part of the approach. And a lot of the scenes were just like us discussing it, and we scouted everything and kind of, you know, found it that way.
Yeah, we also talked about wanting it to sort of feel ghostly, so it wasn't, you know, it felt a little like a spirit. And it's funny because cats move a little bit like that, so it kind of works out.
Yeah. But there's that line when, and it's the beginning of the monologue of the voiceover, where that female voice says, you think I've just gone, but you don't know I've been dead for like 2 months. And you're like, okay, this is intriguing. This is pulling me in. And you do presume as a viewer that it is a loved one, as in like is in a human form. So I think that's when you start, especially when you think back to, like, you know, when the female voice is talking about the neighbor and kind of like, you know, the food, and like he'd had brief words with them, and you kind of go, oh, okay, he's kind of quite a, you know, egotistical man. Then realize, oh, it's a cat. Actually, it's very, like I say, like it's kind of, it's just a nice sweet reveal, and it's actually it means a lot. So, you know, thank you for making a lovely film. So I'm now going to talk to Giovanni from Unduno, A Gift. So this is a story of faith, promises, and the ultimate test for a relationship when circumstances change. It's almost an operatic ode to love. This is very much a story that holds you very far away until that last few scenes. And I think what's extremely poignant is that all of these films kind of show us the effect that can be exchanged between loved ones in a relationship in different forms, and about what we leave behind and what we unlock in each other. What do you want people to feel after watching your film, A Gift?
Cosa? Can you repeat, please? Sorry, no.
Yeah, what do you want people to feel after watching your film?
Cosa praticamente le persone se volessi
Volevo-
provare, cioè volessero
Quando hanno
provare,
visto il vostro,
quando hanno visto il film,
vostro film.
cioè cosa volevi
Far
provare
provare.
alle persone quando loro hanno visto il
Quando ho
film.
visto il film, cosa volevo far provare,
certo,
cosa hanno
certo,
provato
ok,
loro.
ok. Volevo che capissero l'importanza dell'argomento, e cioè, come dire, quando si arriva in uno stato vegetativo, l'importanza l'importanza dell'argomento.
He said the people know how the story is important. You know, when somebody arrives to the
Vegetative state.
to the vegetative state, you know. Ok?
E quindi una scelta così importante,
The important story. Yeah?
Una scelta così importante del fine vita, che riguarda il fine vita.
The important story when the life arrived to end, you know.
Mm-hmm. And was it key for you to include the faith aspect as well?
Io questo non ho capito.
Il destino. Fate il destino, no?
Ok, no, non il
la chiave
destino.
del destino.
No, non è il discorso sul destino, è più che altro un percorso interiore per arrivare a una scelta.
Interiore, come
Sì.
si dice?
Un percorso personale per arrivare a una scelta.
In parole semplici, perché certi termini non è che è interiore, queste
sì,
cose
una
qua.
scelta è il percorso che fa percorso, sai?
When the people do the...
L'attrice, la protagonista, fa un percorso per arrivare alla scelta finale che riguarda poi il fine vita.
Il percorso come si dice?
Lo so.
Sorry.
È semplice.
Non è semplice, no, perché io...
I might be able to help. I speak some Italian.
Oh, perfect.
You speak some Italian, ok, good.
Parlo un po' l'italiano, sì.
Capisci bene l'italiano?
Sì, capisco bene l'italiano.
Allora siamo a cavallo. Dai, grazie. Potresti fare da interprete.
Parli un po' piano.
Sì, vado piano.
What was the question?
Ok.
What do you want people to feel? Oh no, it was about the how important was the faith aspect of the narrative?
Ok. Come importante era l'aspetto di fiducia? In realtà?
Quando era l'aspetto di fiducia che c'era tra lei e lui.
Tra i due protagonisti? Tra i personaggi principali?
Between the two protagonists. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. What are you saying?
So there's an important part where she's talking to in church about how she's listening to the sermons and actually kind of it's making her question it.
Nel senso della la religione, che c'è un momento in che sta alla chiesa e
Sì.
no?
Allora, perché certo è... Sì. Ok. Siccome riguarda il fine vita, e quindi, come dire, ho messo nel corto diversi punti di vista, sia il punto di vista della protagonista e poi che è, come dire, favorevole ad aiutare una persona in difficoltà, oppure quello della Chiesa che invece dice che la vita è un dono, un regalo, e quindi va vissuta nonostante tutta la situazione, ok?
Okay, yeah, so he's saying that, right, so there's two choices to make, right? One that is in favor of the person who, sorry, I'm having cats fighting. One who is in favor of doing, it sounds like what will be best for the person, and one that speaks to their faith, right? And so they wanted to sort of highlight, I think, those two choices.
Yeah.
Due sceglie.
That
Two
makes
choices.
sense. Yeah, so it's a texture for the audience to kind of see both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. It's very, I think it's just as important, that faith aspect to that narrative, as much as the relationship. So it's like a relationship with faith and a relationship with a personal being as well.
Ci sono due relazioni, quello con la persona e quello con la religione, no?
Esatto, diciamo sì.
Yeah,
Questi due punti di vista ce ne sono diversi, perché comunque in un argomento così importante e complesso, ognuno di noi personalmente ha il proprio punto di vista sul
Yeah, we
fine
all have our own point of view on this perspective. It's a very important one.
e ho voluto inserire anche il punto, fra gli altri, anche il punto di vista della Chiesa, o perlomeno di un prete suo amico, amico della protagonista, che le dà dei consigli, cerca di aiutarla e lei non accetta perché ha un altro modo di vedere le cose.
Yeah, there's the priest and then the priest's friend who's giving advice, and she feels differently about it. She has
Ok. No, volevo soltanto dire che non è basato sul punto di vista della Chiesa. La Chiesa è una
This
parte
is not based
marginale.
on the point of view of the church.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Like, that's absolutely fine. I'm not a person of faith, but I found it an interesting story to have that as part of the narrative. So it's you know, it's interesting.
Sì, neanche lei ha la religione, non è religiosa, ma vede che è molto interessante vederlo da questo punto di vista.
Ok. Certo, quindi ci sono, spiega bene che ci sono due punti di vista e alla fine prevale quello di lui, perché c'è un finale, nel finale si capisce che non è lei la protagonista femminile che deve aiutare lui, ma il contrario, è lui, il compagno, il fidanzato che aiuterà lei a morire. Ok, quindi sarà una scelta personale non condizionata.
Okay, it's a personal choice, and it's not conditional, and that it's not, sorry, there are characters that I'm not familiar with, but it's not a choice that she makes, but it's one her husband makes, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. When you watch the film, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Amanda, for helping me.
Grazie Amanda.
Grazie Amanda.
Grazie per averci tolto dai guai.
Mi dispiace l'italiano.
Thank you. So next I'm going to talk to you, Semi, about what could have been. So I found this really, really interesting. A man, whilst in the throes of formalizing a separation, gets the chance to relive and reword his interactions with his wife via a new form of brain stimulus therapy. His eagerness to tweak his subconscious starts him on the path of perpetual what-ifs. I was completely fascinated by this scenario set up in this world, with the idea of taking therapy and literally kind of getting in your head and just completely running with it, whereas we're always told to not get too wrapped up in our own thoughts and you know, get out of our head. So where did this idea come from? Because it's kind of like, it's a relationship drama with a slight sci-fi futuristic element to it, but very naturalistic, and I love that kind of stuff.
Thank you. So I've kind of been writing the script for about 3 years now, and I've been making a feature out of it. But I had a school teacher of mine recently just tell me that I should think about making a 20-minute or 15-minute short of it, and decided to take one of the key point scenes in the actual film and make a short out of it. So it derives from an actual breakup that I went through myself, as the great script does, and you know, it meant a lot to me to actually try to get it on a screen so I can start editing it. So
yeah, I mean, it's very common for people to kind of go that way via a feature, is actually kind of take that fragment and kind of put it almost like a proving ground. Like, does this work? Can this work? Do my characters stand up? And I would totally love to watch a feature of this, because it actually, funny enough, Ashley, you said about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, it has kind of similar kind of tweaks to it, which I think, you know, when we're seeing a lot of what we call naturalistic sci-fi at the moment, which is kind of you know, with the increased popularity of Black Mirror, it's that kind of, you know, those stories that have an alternative edge to them, or, you know, a sci-fi element, but still grounded in reality. So that's, I can totally see that as a feature. So please make it, and carry on. I'm just going to have a quick rundown of the filmmakers that couldn't make it. And I'm hoping that the rest of you in this block do kind of take time to watch their films. But just for the audience, just to kind of give some, you know, feedback. So I Hope You're Doing Well by Matthew Colston. A friendship that has more hidden depths than we first realize is jeopardized when one alters course of their once shared plans. What I personally really enjoyed about this story is how that heady optimism of youth really does bring out an audience's own response of what they were like when they were younger, and their dreams, and, you know, when they had less cares in the world. And I think we've all experienced at different points in our lives relationships that have parted ways, or we've become distant. And these characters are very much people that I felt relatable to. So do check that out. And we also have Stand By You by Yo Kyung-won, which is a very gentle narrative about how our loved ones appear to us in different guises after they've gone. And there's a subtlety in that piece that I really enjoyed, and some lovely nuances where we're presented with both versions of events. And this inability to let go, but completely also embracing grief is hard to pin down in a narrative, but I feel that completely takes us on a journey. Do these narratives that you've worked on for these films, is that something that is what you want to carry on with? Like, do you want to stick with that genre or these themes, or are you working on different genres or different types of films? You know, because these are all very kind of grounded in a naturalistic manner. Even Lola as well. But are you looking to kind of challenge yourself with something different for the next project? Anyone?
I can say that, first of all, I love filming in black and white, so I hope to continue to do that. And secondly, I think part of what I want to continue as a subject matter is San Francisco. I love San Francisco. I'm from there, and I live in New York. But coming back continually and seeing it change over time, and it's just a fascinating place for me, and it's so heartbreakingly beautiful. I don't know. I feel like it's a source of intrigue for me, and I think there are lots of characters to explore there. So I think those are the things I'd like to continue to use as inspiration for the next project.
Great.
I also lived in San Francisco, Amanda, for like 7 years. I love it there so much. So I share that whole vibe.
I have to say, there's something familiar about you. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm really good at stalking people.
Small world, who knows? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the subject matter that I gravitate towards, I mean, I love coming of age stories and anything that's like really stripped down, you know, about the human condition, right? And so right now I'm writing what I hope to be my first directed feature. And it's about a father and daughter relationship reconnecting after being estranged for 10 years. And so I'm working on that right now, and I plan to shoot that in the Northwest in Oregon. But nice. Yeah. So I definitely like to focus on family, sex, gender.
Great. Absolutely great. Sounds brilliant. Yeah. Jason, what are you working on next? Do you always kind of find yourself, I mean, you're somebody who's obviously going to jump from, you know, project to project being an HOD, but is there something that you kind of gravitate towards more?
It's just kind of wherever the wind blows, really. But I mean, I love doing character-driven dramas. That's my favorite thing to do. Yeah. I just finished on a project that was more of an action, very violent film. That's not necessarily my thing, but it's like the range it can be. So
yeah. Oh, it's good though that you can kind of, you know, you can jump, duck and jive, and kind of do the projects just to get them under your belt, but also still enjoy some of them. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, I love all genres really, but yeah, character-driven dramas are my favorite.
Amazing. Max, do you kind of gravitate? I mean, obviously this is a very personal story, but you know, is there something else that you're kind of eager to try?
Yeah, I think in general, I'm definitely really happy with how Lodestar turned out. But I think going forward, I'm working on a new short right now. And I just finished like the first draft, so it's definitely still in development. But as I was writing it, I just kind of wanted to have a little more fun than Lodestar was, and just be like a little like weirder and like playful. So the animation piece in Lodestar was kind of like that felt really good for me. So I want to I love stories that are like intense and dark and brooding and stuff, but I want to like weave in some like kind of a weird like Adult Swim stuff that makes it like fun to watch and like kind of more cerebral and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of have a weird thing that I don't think I can trust anyone who doesn't like anything that Adult Swim has done. Because I always feel like there is something that you have to love on that program because it's so weird and then also so wonderful at the same time. Semi, how about yourself? And again, like another personal story, and I know obviously this is being worked into a feature, but is there another genre you want to try, or is there another kind of narrative issue that you're looking at?
I think I can work into other genres, but as far as it staying character driven, that's kind of my niche. That's that's where I thrive in my own writing, and then that's the kind of movies that I like to watch too. So
it's good. So Giovanni, are you looking to work in another genre?
Ha chiesto se stai lavorando in un altro genere.
Amanda? Sì, ok, grazie. Sì, effettivamente sì, sto pensando mi piacerebbe fare un lungometraggio tratto da un lungometraggio tratto da un mio romanzo, da un libro che ho scritto. E quindi vorrei adattarlo e scrivere la sceneggiatura e sviluppare, se riesco, questo lungometraggio.
He wrote a novel that he wants to develop into a screenplay.
Oh, great. Is it similar to a gift?
È simile?
No, è diverso. Diciamo che c'è sempre, di simile c'è una cosa, che è il percorso interiore del protagonista.
The sort of internal journey, the internal struggle of the protagonist is similar.
Interesting. Well, I really enjoyed The Gift, so I'm intrigued to see what you do next.
A lei piaceva molto The Gift. Dispiace.
Grazie.
So I'm going to ask you all one final question, and that is, where are you playing next? Like on the festival circuit, do you have any others lined up?
Yeah, I'll start with us. Yeah, we're also playing at Nashville, the Nashville Film Festival, October 1st to 7th, which is also virtual, but we're really excited about that.
Yeah, virtual's the way to go. Well, it's the only way to go right now. How about Semi? How about you?
So I literally just got done doing the best shorts competition. I don't remember where exactly it's based out of, but the category that I was in got a meritorious award for what could have been. So that was cool. And I'm also waiting on an Afro Comic Con film festival. It's very local around here in the Oakland area. So
yeah, but perfect content for that.
Yeah,
like, absolutely. Like, yeah, I am a sucker for cross-genre films, just because I just think with my strategist mind on, looking at the circuit, I kind of go, oh, you can go there and you can go there. Amazing, more audience. Jason, are you working on anything next? Because obviously, Amanda, I'm going to ask you where this is going, where Loda's going next. But Jason, are you working on any other projects that you've got in festivals?
It's hard to say because I'm not really sure what's where right now. But yeah, I mean, next, I just some films are abstractly in the future with no set dates. So just commercial work for me right now.
Nice, but still work, which is good.
Yeah, it's actually all of a sudden busy again. So it's a little
good,
bizarre.
Good to hear. Yeah. A positive. Amanda, where's Lola playing next?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to hear. This was pretty much the first. Well, we got accepted to another one, but they didn't have screenings for anyone but award winners. We were nominated, but it was the Indie Shorts Fest in LA. So, but other than that, this is the first one that I had notification from. So
yeah, and a good place to start as well. Like, you know, the content. Yeah, the program's brilliant. Like the program that we've been, like myself and the festival formula team, there's 4 of us, and we've been divvying up these Q&As each. So we've all been kind of dipping into the different programs, and yeah, I've definitely been impressed by the content and the mixture as well, which is brilliant. So, you know, I wish all the films a fantastic continued journey. Giovanni, where's A Gift playing next?
Dove andrà nei prossimi festival?
Allora, ancora devo decidere quali festival. Posso dire dove è stato selezionato, che è il Buenos Aires Film Festival.
Quale?
È stato selezionato al Buenos Aires Film Festival.
Oh, Buenos Aires. It was selected for.
Amazing! Like that's brilliant.
Grazie.
That's really good.
Al Gold Movie Awards.
Good Movie Awards?
Sì.
Oh.
Yeah.
A Londra.
Londra.
In London.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Well, unfortunately, our time has come to an end. I only get kind of a limited time with all of you, which is a shame. But it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to all of you, and I wish you all a fantastic festival at San Francisco Indie Shorts, but then also the rest of your circuit run. And thank you to the audience for watching this blog. And we do hope that you tune in to see what else the festival offers. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time and for your brilliant thoughts and for your wonderful films. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Ciao.